Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mudahar, and welcome back to another episode of the Some Ordinary Podcast with me, my host, Nux Taku. And if you're wondering where Caleb is again, no, he is not gone. He's dealing with a candy machine that I will not get into any further. It's going to be a big thing. But you know what else is a big thing? Our guest, Tyler Cassidy, FroggyFresh, the rapper of YouTube, one of the OGs. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you doing, Mudahar?
I'm doing good, man. I mean, I'm like it's early in the morning, not early in the morning, but I've been up too goddamn early. But like, so you were meant to be fighting.
Yeah.
It's not happening anymore.
Oh, damn, just ripping the Band-Aid off.
I'm ripping the Band-Aid right off, bro. This is the thing that's been going on in the last like week and a half. It's just like non-stop talk about, because it is one of the largest events coming in. So for people who aren't watching, the unindated watching us, you might have heard of Creator Clash. It's one of the biggest events, in our influencer space. And I'm a huge supporter for people in the space doing events. I want them all to be successful, to be honest with you. Even if I don't like certain people, I want them to be successful, right? Like, it just makes us all look great. Now, FroggyFresh was one of the title card fights, and unfortunately, because of some jokes that you made, some really f***ed up jokes, you've been removed.
I feel like we're being too vague. Basically, FroggyFresh was supposed to fight in Ian's in iDubbbz's boxing thing, and he said if I lose, I'll sub to Anissa's OnlyFans, and that is when everything changed.
Oh, that really caused it. So I mean, what's really wild is like throughout the entire internet, it's like the most massive. Like it's like there's been such a massive defense in terms of Froggy, which is like, it's interesting to see on the internet. It's like, how's it felt being in it? Like, I've seen your responses to it, and you've been pretty cordial about it. Like, could you describe us, like, just how like the bomb fell? Like, you made the joke, and then, his mom came in.
I made the joke, and I was training with Sam Hyde, and I didn't think anything of it. And so I made the joke, like, if I don't like beat Chris Raygun, like it's just stupid. Like, if I don't destroy Chris Raygun, beyond what anyone can imagine, I subscribed to Anissa's OnlyFans, which I didn't think anything about. I just thought it was like, this is a dumb joke, whatever. So I'm going back to training for the day, and then I get a call from somebody's in charge that's like, hey, if you got a minute, can we talk about press and promo and stuff, or something like that, something along the lines. I missed the call, and then he texted me that, and I just texted him back. I was like, hey, can you text or email me? I'm like training right now. He said, do you have time for a phone call at any time? And I was like, not really. I'm pretty much like be busy all day. Just like, is there anything you can't text or email me? Like, is it sensitive or something? And I didn't get no response after that. And the next contact was like, I got home from Rhode Island on Friday, and the next contact was a text from that same person Saturday night. They said, like, did you get the email? And I got an email saying that, like, I was out, and to, like, they wanted me to pay back the money that I'd used for like training and stuff for like the last.
Whoa! I didn't hear that part. What?
Yeah, they wanted what was it, like $15,000 back or something?
Yeah, because that's what I've used like for training, plus more for training and equipment and all that, and travel, like for like press and promo and stuff like that. So like, they wanted me to pay that back, which was like.
Wait, did you violate a contract or something? Because if not, then how could they ask you to refund that stuff? And if yes, what contract?
I would kind of
did you
assume
violate?
that like it would also be like the time you spent. You could counter that, right? It's like I spent like like months of my time.
You spent months training for this thing.
Yeah.
Let alone money.
I mean, like joke aside, it's like how many months did you spend training? I think it was like 9, right? Like
Ian messaged me, and it was either August or September of last year.
You're basically working on it since the end of basically last Creator Clash, and it was just like time in and time out, and it's like the thing about this that's wild is like, so you're out there training, and for influencers, right? Like, obviously when you put so much time into something, you expect to get your return out of it, right? Like, you either do the fight or you make a good amount of money out of it, you know what I mean? Like, there's like, this is a job. Like, when you're a boxer, this is a job. You spend like 9 months of your life basically making nothing, and then you're going to make that back, right? Like 9 months salary or more on the fight. So it's like, but especially for a charity event, that's not even a thing, right? Like, you basically break even. So now it's like you spent 9 months of your life, and then you still got to pay back.
Right.
Like, that's up.
Right.
That's insanity.
Honestly, that's so sad. It's sad to think about. Like, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. Imagine building up to something for months, putting in so many hours of your sweat and tears, and it's just like
especially when you could have just
tweet,
been making content on that point. But at least you look fucking good throughout it, though. Like you can look jacked as shit. I remember when I saw a photo. When I saw a photo of you, I was like, "This motherfucker is on something. He's on like some roids or some shit." I'm like,
"No, I'm not though. Nothing."
No,
that's all hard.
I know when I saw it, I'm like, because the thing is like, so I wasn't following the Creator Clash too much until I saw when you got removed, and then when I saw like you jacked, I was like, I recognize him from somewhere. Like there's shit's hitting me like somehow.
Yeah, I've been working so hard too, bro. Because like no joke. No steroids. I never touched steroids. Never no THC, nothing. If you could rush a car to my door right now, P test 100%. No, none of that. Which is weird because you see a lot of people on the internet who are like, I swear to God, you wouldn't believe in the amount of people who are like steroids.
Oh, dude.
Which now it sounds weird.
For sure.
Yeah, now it sounds weird because I'm defending it so hard. I'm like, hey, everybody out there thinks I want steroids. I'm not.
No. You're not. A lot of it really did look like you. How long did you train with Sam for? Like, how did the Sam stuff start when you went out with him?
To be honest with you, I used training almost more of an excuse to go work with Sam because, like, to me, Sam's a comedian and like Sam is like just past whatever. Who's the guy with the knit cap that does the super chats? That's really good at the super chats. The dude with the knit beanie, Tim Pool. Mm-hmm. Tim Pool, you know Tim Pool, right?
Yeah.
I think Sam's just like past Tim Pool or like for like super chats. Like Sam's doing really good, but here's the deal: is like Sam's been working at comedy for like so long. Like he's like 38 now, 37 or 38. Yeah. Like for me, Sam went out there like to the same school where Seth MacFarlane went. Sam's like could have been like probably like I'm pretty sure his dad wanted him to go to law school and stuff. Sam probably could have been like one of the best lawyers alive, but was just like wanted to go do art and ended up being a comedian. Mm-hmm. And like so Sam really like he's gonna go down as he's probably the greatest stand-up of all time. Now the thing with Sam is like Sam for most comedians won't even fuck with Sam because they're like intimidated by how funny he is. Like that's why like you got someone like no disrespect. I'm not even gonna say names like, but there's people with Netflix specials that like are afraid would be intimidated by Sam, not because he's a Nazi, because he's the most talented comedian alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not only because no, I'm joking.
Yeah. So it's like, so for me, it's like Sam. Like when Sam got a show on Adult Swim, it's just like people got salty. There's people there. They use excuses to like get people out. People get intimidated by young talent, so he kind of got f***ed over. Mm-hmm. But like that's a whole other story. But like for me, Sam's like the funniest stand-up, and just because he says stuff that like he's not supposed to say, and that's his whole act is that he wasn't supposed to say it, but he says it anyways, and you don't know if he really means it, and he really doesn't. But he's not going to tell you that he doesn't mean it because then that breaks the whole awkward joke. You know what I mean? So it's like
I watched like a few bits of Sam after like some of those Twitter spaces because. I knew about Sam only from like 4chan posts where like every time some mass shooting happened it was like his face. I didn't really know a lot about $1 Million Extreme, right? Actually, it was like if anybody, it was like iDubbbz's documentary and a lot of that stuff where I was drawn into it, right? Like where I was even learning about Sam. I remember there was a while back with like Ethan and some of his earlier content, and they were like apparently he like copied a video word for word. For what Sam Hyde have done, and I didn't know anything. I was like, Sam Hyde probably is like I didn't know, and then after a while I watched it, and you're right, like the dude never switches off. Like he is 100% in the joke mode. It's like I don't know if you can ever see a video of him serious or break character, even out of like a BTS scene,
Exactly, and if you spend a day with Sam, because if you look at Sam in like 2008, 9, 10, mm-hmm. to where Sam is now. Sam's whole life is a character, unless you're like around him in his office. You know what I mean? So it's like, but what I was gonna say is, it's like, if you're around Sam for a day and you realize, okay, the gym that he's been training in boxing for years is mostly like Black and Latino, mm-hmm. and these are people where he's friends with, who he knows.
Yeah.
This is where he trains. It's like if you walk through Sam's life in a day, you couldn't argue the point that he's like a racist neo-Nazi.
I don't know.
Because
like,
the people
when I see the Sam stuff, he strikes me as like, edgy humor. It's like 2016 humor, just in 2023. Yeah. That's definitely how it strikes me. It doesn't strike me as a racist per se. I think that a lot of the people that don't want to associate with him use that edgy humor to say he's a Nazi as an excuse not to associate with him because, you know, Idubbbz personally doesn't like him, or Hassan doesn't want to box him, you know, like stuff like that. So I feel like that's
I mean,
an easy
the thing about Sam is like the more I watch him, and it's like, you know, the more I look into it, it's like he just seems like the East Coaster guy, you know, like the guy from the East Coast, you know, like we have a different sense of humor here, you know, and it is what it is. Like Nux, I'm sure you can agree too. Like you've lived in Montreal as well. We have a different humor than I guess our West Coast counterparts.
Yeah,
and like Sam kind of matches that. Now at the end of the day, when I was in a Twitter space too, like Sam was like, he said shit in the past. Like one thing I can respect out of somebody is like if I ask you, it's like, did you do racist shit in the past? Did you say anything up? And they won't deny it. They'll be like, yeah, you can look it up. Like I've said shit. Nowadays, I don't really like. After talking with him, I don't get that vibe off of him. You know what I mean? I don't get any of it. I don't get any of that shit. He really just seems like the edgy comedian, which is like, you know, he's making jokes that wouldn't fly so much even back in 2016, but he's kept it going. I think it's really wild that a lot of the people now who are like the thing with Idubbbz, and like I like Ian, like I like Idubbbz, and I like a lot. I don't think anybody here is sitting over here that is like, let's shit on him for like, you know.
No, I genuinely like a lot of people like, you know, they go down the, oh, he's a hypocrite, he fell off and all that. I don't know, he's evolved in some way. I remember enjoying his content cops back in the day, but I don't harbor any disdain towards him for sure.
I don't harbor disdain. I just find it weird when it's like, oh, okay, now we're in like 2023. Let's not fucking. Let's I guess shit on anybody for making the same jokes that we were making.
For me,
back
it's
in
the preachy mode that I find annoying. Yeah. But then again, I find that annoying in anyone. It doesn't need to be Ian. It could be like when Hassan does preachy mode too. I don't know. He just came up. But when he goes preachy mode too, it's like I just think back to like his 9/11 lines, and it's like, yo, dude.
Yeah, the thing with Adam is like, yeah, he's kind of preachy, and it was like he's grown, but I'm like, dude, you were like 28 back when you were making the, you know, NF joke, so it's like you were pretty damn grown by then. So I don't know, it's a wild thing with him. I think the shame is just seeing like you removed off of like CC, like the title card, but thankfully it's like Keem brought up the Misfits boxing, so you know you have a fucking in there to at least do a fight with somebody, whether it be Chris or not.
With you, dude, I'm going to tell you something. To be honest with you, training boxing has taught me one thing. The more I trained, the stupider I felt, dude. Especially when you're training with like these people who have been training like their whole lives to do this. Mm-hmm. I'm not lying. It gets to a point where you start to feel like, why? Like, do I really deserve to be boxing in front of 20? No. I want everyone to go have fun, but it's gotten to a point where I'm like, I've been getting beat up by people who are never gonna have a stage. Because like, here's the deal. I'm not a boxer. I go in there with people like 3-4 years, just 3 or 4 years. Dude, and I can't hang. Like, it's embarrassing. Like, and I'm a tough person, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. At a certain point, I start to feel a little bit weird about it, where I'm like, because it's like these people are never going to get this stage, and for some reason, because I made some funny rap songs, I'm getting a stage that they'll never have. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, it feels a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's like you've jumped into their business, you've jumped into their lifestyle, and you're already like in 10 steps ahead.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when like a bunch of people come in and gentrify an area.
Damn.
Yeah.
No, but I know what you mean. It's like sometimes I'm asked to do voiceovers for stuff, and you know, I'll ask voice actors to help me, and these are voice actors that have done like at least amateur voice acting for years, right? And they're never gonna voice in a project that's as big as this. Just they just wanted me because, you know, I have a recognizable voice that they could attach to the project.
Yeah, it does kind of suck when you jump into somebody's world and you're like 10, 15 steps ahead, and they're like...
I feel really stupid about a lot of times, especially when I go in there and everyone's been super respectful. Nobody's ever been like, hey, what the f*** do you think you're doing, bro? Like, you're a fucking rapper, a comedian, like go home, stop putting on like boxing gloves, you idiot. Like, you're not a boxer. But, like, everyone's been super respectful, but it gets to a point where I'm like,
but I feel like that is influencer boxing. That's what it's all about. It's taking people and putting them in this element, despite the fact that they're not good at it. You're not called a boxer. You are an influencer boxer. It's taking these people and putting them in a situation that makes them out of their depth, that really makes it entertaining. That's why when, like, you know, Jake Paul and Logan Paul, they get into like the more official boxing, that's what I care about it much less. It's no longer that niche.
And I would say something else though too. If I'm gonna speak from the heart on this, bro, here's the deal. It's like, yeah, I might be able to like say I do go to Misfits and they like feed me somebody who's like not on my level, right? And I do good. That's cool. Then say like I do another one. Eventually, dude, somebody's gonna be able to beat me up pretty bad.
Yeah, that's just how it works.
If you have a decent IQ, you know at the end of this line comes somebody beating you up eventually.
Well,
so why am I...
the thing is like even Harley, and it's like Harley's actually matched up to somebody that's like a fucking WWE fighter. So I'm like, damn, you might be working out, boy, but this ain't Ego Raptor anymore. He's about to come and f your shit up.
right. It's like the thing is like, yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you too. There's some people over in Misfits like I'm not trying to fight some of them people, bro. So it's like,
I mean, I think you got into boxing also like not for the sport as much as for the event, right?
Yeah, it was just me and Chris Reagan. I was like, this is a couple people who shouldn't be fighting in the first place, coming together to try to fucking learn how to fight. Like, so it was like whatever. It was just something small and like. But now I'm not trying to be like, okay, we're on the Misfits. Like, here goes my lifelong career as a fucking boxer.
I haven't seen Chris Reagan's like body for boxing or anything. But like, I'm just wondering. I'm like, if he's going up against the version I saw of you last week on Twitter, dude. I'm actually kind of glad you got kicked out of the event. That would have been a fucking murder, bro.
Yeah, like who knows? What if I'd have had it? Like, if I had gone in there and been like. If I had gone in there and I'd having a bad day, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing with some of these boxing events, right? Like, the f***ed up part is, and it was like Sam was talking about it too in one of these places, the matchups weren't done so well. Because it's like, even if you look at last year with like Ego Raptor and Harley, bro, if Harley had a bad day, Ego Raptor's dead. Like, done. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, maybe it is kind of good. Because the version I saw of you, I'm like, I haven't seen Chris or whatever. I haven't seen what his workout regimen is, but I would kind of be shitting myself. Maybe I would touch a little bit of the roids before the fight just to even it out. You know what I mean? I'm like, Jesus Christ.
And the thing is, at the end of the day, I'm almost glad I got called off too, because really, I'm not trying to hurt Chris Reagan.
No,
like, I don't want to hurt him. So it's good.
He's like, it's a shame that it got ruined because it's like you two are some of the more recognizable people in that card for me. Like it's an entire event that covers everybody, but I'm not into like watching like honestly I didn't even know who the Alex Wasabi was until like the card got announced. When I saw you and I saw like when I saw like Chris, I was like, okay, these are two names that I do recognize. I'm like, all right, I'll see that fighter, and I recognize a few other people from that like Myth and everything. And then after that, it was like, nah. So it was just a shame to see it get removed, and like there's no fight replacement. So I don't know what's gonna happen a week and a half
honestly,
from now.
It's just
maybe.
sad. It's sad you got removed. The upside, though, I do think career-wise, I know this is like a really sociopathic thing to say. Career-wise, I think this was really good for you. Like, all in all.
Yeah, out of this entire fight, the most promotion.
I was telling that to Jessica. I was like, my wife, I was saying, like, really, do you think because let's be honest, like, even, do you think, like, Mudahar would care if, like, I beat Chris Reagan in a boxing match? No, he wouldn't, bro. Mudahar would have never heard about it.
I mean, listen, it would depend. Like, the way that you look, if you broke one of his fucking ribs, I would have been like, all right, today we have a hospitalization to talk about it. I was like, dude, that's the thing. Like, I wish I'd said it earlier, too. Like, because now it's like, it hits me. Because I'm like, man, I've never seen Chris without a shirt on. So I'm like, I know he looks good. I know he's like, he works out.
He's jacked, bro.
He looks, okay, there's a difference between being jacked and then being, like, boxing jacked. You know what I mean? Like, you can be like skinny people with like no body fat. You'll look good, but I mean that doesn't mean you can throw a punch or even take one. You know, like it's.
For sure, it doesn't.
I was like, damn, some of these. And then it's this thing. Now I'm like, now I kind of want to watch. To an extent, I'm kind of boycotting it personally.
I still want to. I'm gonna be honest with you. I still want to watch it. I'm interested in watching it. 100%. I want to see like mostly I want to see a lot of people's fights. There's a lot of fights I want to see.
I do want to see the Harley fight, though. He's going up against somebody that's, like, outclassed him, so... And, I mean, Harley's worked at, like, he looks pretty fucking decent.
Bro, Harley looks great.
Yeah, he looks fucking good, so it's like...
Harley looks like you know when you get action figures, like the jacked action figures, but sometimes it's not like the 9-inch models. Yeah. Harley is the 9-inch models, the ones that were like too big for the other action figures that are like jacked. That's I think it's a 9-inch action figure,
No,
bro.
he's no, like I think for I just like it's good that we all can like come together and be like, listen, regardless of the shitty things that have happened, we still want to see the best of the event, because I feel like there is an overwhelming amount of negativity that still exists about it too.
For sure.
And it's kind of a shame that like the argument has kind of shifted from just letting you back on the card to it's like, let's just go dogpile on some of these like event organizers, which is never okay. Like, and like either rescind the dumb decision, which they're not going to do. Like that would make them look really, really dumb.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to rescind that. Impossible. Like, here's
so
the thing
really...
about like apologies on the internet. It doesn't help. Okay, you apologize for something you did like that you don't really think you did wrong, or you regret making that apology. It's not actually going to change anything. But you think Logan Paul apologized for CryptoZoo, and everyone's like, well, Logan is a good guy after all.
No,
it doesn't change anyone's opinion. Like, if they apologize and let you back on, they're just gonna get more
I'm
shit
still so shocked that motherfucker had to do the CryptoZoos like scam. Dude, doesn't he have like a WWE sponsorship? In what world do you need the extra like crumbs of money?
Did you see KSI? Speaking of Prime, multi-million-dollar Prime.
Shit.
KSI just had a whole drama thing.
Yeah,
this
he
week.
said something offensive to people of my descent, I guess you could say, South Asian people.
I think it was.
Dude,
yeah.
Can I just say, I'm so sick and tired of seeing the fucking like Olympics for like apologies. So okay, he says a racial slur against.
Okay,
like,
dude, I did not.
People,
I'm so
right?
scared. I didn't know it was a racial slur. If you would,
I didn't know it was a racial slur either.
Oh my god.
So, Froggy, do you know what KSI did?
Yeah, and I heard what KSI said.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a racial slur myself. Not that I would go around using the word, but I mean, it's just not because I'm afraid to use it, but it's just not. It would just.
I didn't think it was.
I wouldn't
a slur.
say.
Okay, so the audience that's not getting it, without saying the slur, take the word Pakistani
The
and
first
remove,
two
like,
syllables of Pakistani.
Yeah, the first two syllables of the word Pakistani alone. Okay, those words are considered slurs in the United Kingdom. Okay, now as somebody growing up in the East Coast here, I'm not like a chunk of my family's from Pakistan. I'm from India, so it's like we had the whole partition, like and blah. I don't have to get into the historical records of like what happened like 60 years ago. Not that it matters too much. Anyways, for the Pakistani people, if you use the first two syllables alone in the UK, that shit is like the N-word, okay? That shit is bad.
We had someone that worked in our elementary school, okay? Dude worked in my elementary school. He was a Pakistani fellow, and when people would ask him, like, where are you from, he would say, I am and then use the first two syllables of Pakistani to describe himself. I had no idea. I was like, what?
I don't know. What were you saying, Froggy, over there?
Is it like that though in England? Like this, it's like known like that.
Yeah, apparently. Well, with the amount of fucking backlash we saw on Twitter, yeah, it might as well.
Well, I don't know. Twitter manufactures backlash. I don't know. So
well, like the thing is, so I watched a clip of him saying it. It was like part of the Sidemen panel bullshit, and he knew it was a bad word. He like laughed beforehand and then says it. And gets beeped out.
I didn't see the clip.
So he like from what I understand, KSI knows it was bad. So like he apologizes for it, which you think is fine. Like, okay, you said a bad word, apology, whatever, cool. Like you acknowledged it, you move on, done. So today I saw him at a mosque in England, right?
I saw that.
He was at a mosque, which he's sitting there with like exactly. He's like getting education from the imam and everything too. And I'm like, so hold on.
How did the people respond to that? Like, how did they respond to that?
Well, you had a bunch of people. Okay, so you have 50% of Twitter who's like, "Oh, nice PR stunt," and then the other 50% is like, "Wow, he's learning." And I'm like, "No, wait a minute. Now, isn't it even a little bit more offensive?" So he said the first two syllables. He made fun of South Asian Pakistani people, right? Why did he have to go to a fucking religious why did he have to go to like a mosque for this? Like, that's a totally different thing.
It was
you know what I mean?
So he said it. He released an apology. He said he's stepping away from the internet for like weeks or whatever, which is
until the backlash goes away.
Until the backlash goes away, right? Until Logan Paul launches CryptoZoo 2, right? So he's gonna step away from the internet. Then Sidemen tweets out, like the actual Sidemen account, this whole long apology. They feel terrible about it. Then 2 days later, the individual members of the Sidemen each tweeted out their own personal apology. Did you see that?
Dude, I feel like this has got to be like a 30-minute video-worthy look of just how not to fucking apologize. How to over-apologize. Like just chill the fuck out. We get it. But like,
how did that make it to the video? Seidman is a massive channel. There's a lot of YouTubers there. There's a lot of producers, and this made it to the final cut.
I think it's really wild too, because it's like usually when I sit and I'm like I record a video and I'm editing it, my first thought isn't let me just scrub the whole 30 minutes. So if I said a racial slur, let me just delete that. That never really happened.
Like it would stick out while he was recording it, and there's 6 other people standing with him. You'd think one of them would be like, maybe we should. You would think the person who recorded it would write down the time, and it's like just passes to the editor. Do not let this clip play. Just let it play. So I don't know. I've been told that the people in the UK, their humor's a little bit fucking different, but then at the end of the day, it's like, Jesus Christ, like, in 2023, bro, you can't, this ain't like the PewDiePie bridge incident era, okay? Like, back then, I guess you could drop a hard R and still walk out of it pretty unscathed. In the PewDiePie era, he did it on live stream. This was a recorded video with, like, 6 other YouTubers, with 20 cameramen and producers and editors, and it still made it to the final cut. And then he apologized for it. That is, I think, way, way, way different than saying it on a live stream.
Well, it's like, you kind of wonder, don't they watch the whole video before they upload it? Like, don't they just watch the whole thing before it gets live? I don't know. But I think the over-apologies are so insane. Like, it's just like, we get it, okay? You feel bad. Like, we understand. Like, he's out there and the thing that's always funny to me, this is why I don't take apologies seriously, is when there's a fucking camera always rolling, you know? Like, you're out there at every given, like, opportunity trying to make amends, and there's a fucking photo opportunity ready to happen. Like, come the fuck on. Like, I'm like 28 years old at this point, okay? I get the bullshit. I get the PR speak. Well, let's fucking move on from it. Do I think KSI should be, like, removed from the internet? Obviously not. Do I think KSI is a fucking racist? Obviously not. But it's like, God, but, like, he's just making it off
and he should have apologized. However,
and he did once, not like 10 times over again, though.
I don't know what the over apologies is gonna do.
It's wild to see, like, a lot of people on the internet treat themselves, like, so seriously in terms of, like,
and did you see his spoken apology, like, with the camera framing, with the paper in front of him? Did you see that, like, that apology that he released?
What?
So he released. Okay, you didn't even see all the apologies. Oh
okay, do you want to share that link? We can all watch it together.
Let me see if I can find it. Let me see.
I'd love to have a live view of, like, the KSI spoken apology.
Okay, let me see if I can find it. No, he released another apology after all of this.
No fucking way. All right, we're about to watch this together.
It's not like it's a bad apology per se, you know, or disingenuous. It's just like, why are you making so many apologies? We know you feel bad. You did something wrong.
It's a minute and a half. It's a minute and a half. A minute and 15 seconds. All right, boys. So let's get a.
For me, the one wild part in this apology, I guess we'll watch it together. But
yeah.
All right. Hi. Morning, everyone.
I just feel like the framing of this video.
Statement, which.
What do you mean framing? It looks like a fucking ISIS tape, bro.
Like,
he looks like
the way the camera is, like, it's angled up. It's like that camera's low and it's not directly in front of him.
I want to take this opportunity to offer my deepest and most sincere apologies for my words and actions. In a recent video, I used a racial term that is offensive to so many, especially in the South Asian community.
Dude, he makes it sound like he's fucking Kramer from the Laugh Factory. I'm sorry, boys. That was just painful.
Like, yeah, no. The thing is, like, I know KSI is not racist.
No,
he's not.
I get that it's inappropriate to say something like that. I guess I didn't know it was a slur, but I guess in England
I didn't know it was a slur. It doesn't sound like a slur to me, so that must be a cultural thing if it is a slur.
Well, it's like the C word. Like, you know how Australians drop that C word? You guys know what I'm talking about? CU, and then, like, you know, the at the end. Yeah, like that. I didn't know that was a bad, like, super bad word. Apparently in America, it's like the fucking most awful thing you can say to a woman. And then you go down to, like, Australia and everyone's, like, dropping it like it's candy. And I'm just like, I'm sitting over here and I'm like, look, hey, he said a bad thing, all right? Like, he apologized, done. But that whole clip over there, it's like, I get what he's trying to say, but I'm like, Jesus.
Do you think it'd be better if he doesn't apologize or if he does?
Well, I
No,
mean, if you do something wrong, you should apologize for the wrong thing that you did. It shouldn't be because of peer pressure. It should purely be because you think you did something wrong. And you should apologize once for it, you know.
Not have like a printed, like...
Dude, with the paper in front of him with...
It looked like an ISIS tape, like, you know, something.
And that wasn't his first apology. This is the post-mosque apology, okay?
Jesus Christ, that like, see, this is the kind of shit that I find like super duper just. It's almost like the world is so weirdly divisive as compared to what it used to be, like, you know, 10 years ago, where like if this had happened 10 years ago, it would have probably been one apology and moved on. But now it's like,
if this would have happened 10 years ago, no, he would have leaned into it. Like, it's a different.
Yeah, if it happened 10 years ago,
world.
it would have been a joke on the exactly. It would have been a joke on the channel, and maybe people were all just like taking pot shots at each other. But now it's like we live in a world where it's like you got to really kind of walk on an eggshell. You know, it's like who knows one thing. Like one day you could say something that's like super offensive and it can like fuck your career up. I mean, like,
well, the thing is, like, culture changes too. So it's like what you say 12 right now in like 10 years could be like
true.
Not acceptable anymore.
Like, it's funny, like 9 years ago, if you go into my content, like in the very first year, I used to say the R word all the time, okay? I used to drop like...
Hard R's?
Not... Huh?
Hard R's, Muda?
No. The one for like... The one for neurodivergent
the line is
people.
tech tips hard R's.
No, not that one. Not that one. No, the re word. Okay, not the N one. The re. So, anyways, that, like, I used to drop that word all the time in videos. There was not one video you could watch for me that wasn't like me dropping it.
Dude,
so,
I was watching The Hangover on a plane. I'm on vacation. I was watching The Hangover on the plane, and one guy, he looks at him and he's like, "You are a retard." I just started dying. I don't know. It just came out in such a weird way.
But like now, if you say that word, if you just like say it, bro, tons of people are gonna go down your throat. It's like saying, like, you just can't do it. It's sacrilegious, and it's wild to me. Like, I see so many of those like political channels on the internet and shit, like the lefty ones, and they're just dropping it like no tomorrow. It's like, and I'm like, dude, I don't even understand culture anymore. Like, you said culture changes, but it's like, for how, like, some people just get away with it, some people don't. It's so, like, the rules are so fucking weird every day. They're trying to follow them down to a T is just honestly kind of fucking annoying.
Ultimately, I just wish, like, it's the audience you accumulate, right?
Yeah,
like,
I think it's also like social media too. Like with the attention spans people have on the internet, bro, you have to make sure your point can hit somebody within 5 seconds, right? Like, you have to make sure, because there's no chance for you to, there's no time for you to give context anymore, you know? Like, it's funny to me, like TikTok, right? Like, we look at all these like short form video contents. Like, how often do you guys watch TikToks or YouTube Shorts or whatever?
Never. I ban myself.
I don't use TikTok.
Yeah. So I don't use it, but my aunt's kids do it all the time, right? So like, it's funny to me, like, I watch YouTube videos that are like 20, 25 minutes long. I watch like tech stuff. So I'm watching videos that are usually long. I'm there for the whole ride, you know? I'm the fucking good view for these channels. I'm like watching the whole thing through.
You're
not
the
dropping
30%
off, whatever.
that makes it to the end.
Exactly. So like, I'm watching it, but then like, I look at my aunt's kids and like, they open up TikToks, bro. They don't even watch the whole TikTok anymore. They don't even watch the whole minute. It's like, oh, the first 5 seconds and go through. It's like resumes. Like, when resumes come into our office and we're like reading through it, like, we just like throw like we look through and like we look through the first line, throw it away. That's what they're doing with fucking TikToks. So it's like, even if something happens, right? Like, you're talking about an audience whose attention span on average is less than 10 fucking seconds. So if you make a mistake, if you make an oopsie, bro, you have no chance to like add context to what you were saying or do anything, right? Like, people look at one fucked up thing you're saying and it's done. It's like, we bitch about people who read the headlines and go off of that. This is even worse, you know? It's like, you don't even get the whole bit of it. And that's just I think that's kind of the shitty part of like the world we live in. Like, I could never do TikToks. I wouldn't understand what kind of content to make on TikTok. Like, I'm not here making like 2-minute video pieces. Tyler, you might be able to get away with it with rap music. Like, you can upload shorts or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe that would work. But like, for me and Nux, it's like, what kind of content are we necessarily making that's like consumed in like bite-sized pieces, right? Like, fucking, it's a weird world we live in, and it's like the kind of people that are consuming the whole landscape has shifted so fucking quickly over time. Not just culture, but the way like people consume their videos and their content and everything too. Like we're getting to a point where like even watching a boxing match might be too long, right? Like they're gonna look at a 3-minute long round for this. First off, this Boogie and Wings of Redemption fight that are coming up. Do you know about that?
Yeah.
Boogie's boxing.
Boogie and Wings of Redemption boxing. They have like 3-minute rounds. So Wings of Redemption is another YouTuber. He's like a former like Call of Duty guy. Like he used to play a ton of that. He was one of the biggest like gaming channels of the time. Obviously, he fell off. There was a whole there's like just mountains of controversy around it. It's way too long to get into, but he's had a career fall off, kind of like Boogie, you know, where the community kind of turned against him, and he's become like the butt of the joke. So that's kind of why they're matched up. Also, they're both heavier dudes who are going to go into a boxing ring. I don't know how that's going to work. Like, you going into Creator Clash, I assume you had to meet with doctors, right?
I remember the eye doctor. Like, somebody checked for, like, I think they were checking for, like, concussion, make sure I didn't have a concussion. And I get a blood work done, I think, to test for, like, HIV or AIDS or something like that.
Right. But do they have to check you for, like, you know, like, your physical, like I assume when you're in a, like, Creator Clash in a sanctioned fight, like, there's not any need for like crazy health professionals, but like in a fight, like they're going to make sure that like you're fit enough to go in. It's not about having the muscle, right? It's about like, you know, they don't want you to like die, right? They don't want you to get seriously injured, so the doctors get involved. I'm wondering how Boogie and Wings even got okayed for a fight, you know? Like that seems fucking risky to me.
Like, yeah,
I feel like most of the time when you're boxing, it seems like you're probably signing away your life, like pretty much in general anyways, for the sport. I would bet pretty much even people who are pros with like 20 wins are probably signing contracts where it's like, if you die, like we're not responsible.
I mean, like I feel like that would be a standard clause just for everyone involved because you are doing a combat sport, but it's like, when you're two pros, right? Like even that's scary because it's like, you know, one bad like fucking punch. Like there was I forget the Buffalo Bills player. He had like a heart failure in the middle, right? Like I forget the name of him, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like
nope.
And you don't know what I'm talking about, Knox?
No.
So there was a Buffalo Bills player.
I really just don't do anything sports related.
There was a player in the Buffalo Bills, and again, it's a shame that I'm forgetting his name immediately, but he was a young guy, and he got, like, charged, right? And he got hit in such a specific way, and at the right time, that his heart stopped in the middle of the field, and he, like, collapsed.
That's crazy.
Now, he's fine, from what I understand, he's recovering, but it's like even professionals, right? Like, people who are seasoned pros, they get into situations like that. So I'm like sitting over here. I'm like, how is Boogie and Wings? How are they gonna fucking go into a ring and try beating each other up? Like the whole fucking sport is stamina related too. And you're like, these guys' hearts are already working like in overtime, and you're telling them to put extra stress on them, like with fucking beating each other up. I don't know. And they're also like pretty old dudes too. Like Boogie's almost hitting his 50s, and it's like you...
Boogie came to my show in Arkansas. I met Boogie. He's like one of the only like people from the YouTube community I met. I was coming through Arkansas, and him and McJuggernuggets came to one of my shows.
Okay. Well, how is that? Boogie seems like he would be a nice dude in person to meet up with, provided you're not, you know, f***ing with him and you give him a gun or something. I love the Boogie gun saga though. That was my favorite YouTube moment.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, did he shoot some gun off?
He shot a gun off, and again, there's so much dispute about whether it was near a school zone or not. But I'm just like, damn, you do not fire a fucking gun off in the middle of nowhere, like Jesus Christ. But I don't know. Boogie is an interesting fellow to me. I had one spat with him about like landlords, and that kind of like spiraled both of our relationship out. But I honestly wish always the best for him. Like I wish the best for anybody, like anybody on YouTube. Like even there's probably only
XQC?
One person even XQC.
Damn.
There's genuinely only one person I dislike and hate on YouTube, and I actually could not, like, I couldn't care if they got run over, is probably J Station. That's it. And the reason I hate that guy a lot is because, like, in front of, like, behind the scenes, that motherfucker sent me, like, legit, like, death threats or some shit. Like, legit, like, threats to my life or something. And I'm just like, he sends it to me at, like, 2 in the fucking morning, shirtless. Like, I have to open up my phone, like, open up Twitter at, like, 2 a.m. because I got a DM from this one guy. And, like, from like an account you follow. It'll tell you, right? And I'm like opening it up. I'm like, this dude's shirtless and throwing death threats over at me. I'm like, okay.
What's his name?
J Station. You won't find him on YouTube. He's pretty much been removed off the platform. He used to do like these 3 a.m. videos. Yeah, he used to do 3 a.m. videos and then got removed. There is one channel that I was covering, and it's like amazing. So this video today that I'm doing. Have you guys heard of the YouTube prankster that got shot?
Yes, I did.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the YouTube prank? Okay, so there's this YouTube prank channel. He's 21 years of age, right? Yes. So he's in a mall, and he's like, it's not a prank. It's mostly him harassing people, right? Like, to give you a quick idea, he goes into like a Target, right? And he just starts lighting up a cigarette or pretends to light up a cigarette. And he goes up to like the Target employees and f***s with them. Which, like, here's my thing. If you're going into a Target if you're going into a fucking...
There's people in there working for $9 an hour trying to feed their kids, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the Rick and Morty fans all over again. You know, they go to...
McDonald's.
They go to McDonald's, they start pickle rack and they start squealing all over.
Like, okay, so there are scenes where he goes up to an employee and like, so his cameraman is literally behind him with the camera like this, like the you know, like he has a smartphone up. It's like everyone looks at him in the camera. It's like, oh, not this fucking dipshit again. It's like, dude, like you said, it's like, dude's out there working for $9.
He got shot at Target?
No, he didn't get shot at Target. He got shot in a mall. Like, I'm just only saying the Target is that's one of his video examples. The video where he got shot hasn't been released yet, and I'm saying yet because this guy is a little bit unhinged.
Waiting until he gets to a certain amount of subscribers to release.
Exactly. So okay, he got shot in the abdomen. Because apparently, allegedly, the joke that he was doing at the time was he was going up to people in public and just calling them sex offenders and trying to do a citizen's arrest. Allegedly, that's what the joke was. I couldn't confirm it. But then it got me thinking, I'm like, dude, if somebody just comes up to you and starts calling you a fucking sex offender and, like, arresting you, and you're strapped, which, like, this is America, guys, okay? Like, you're gonna have a gun.
People don't want to be called a sex offender.
Yeah, you're gonna get fucking shot. So the guy that shot him, and I saw the mugshot of the guy who shot him, that guy had, like, you know that dead fish-eyed, like, Mike from Breaking Bad look?
Yeah.
You can look at that shit from a football field away and be like, yeah, I'm not fucking with him.
Wait, how old was the guy? The shooter, how old?
The shooter was, like, probably in, like, his 20, like, same age, 20, 22 or something. And
he had the dead-eyed look for that Mike had.
The dead-eyed look, and also he, like, he wasn't clean, because I looked up the guy's criminal record, and he had a record from juvie. He was like beating his dad or some shit, like just getting into like anger issues.
Here's the deal. You don't want to f with the kid who beats his dad.
Yeah.
No. You got a nerdy guy who can't do anything to you.
And then this dude's like a fucking DoorDash employee too, so it's like he's also making call. So now you're fucking with the guy. That's not too.
He called a sex offender. He just had to beat his fucking dad up.
Yeah, like he goes crazy, and then he shoots the dude in the abdomen. Now he gets arrested like 3 minutes after because he does it in a public place, and there's video footage recorded. Now in the hospital, our young prank channel like Nobel Prize winner, who basically just won the Irish sweepstakes, as far as I'm considered, he's fucking alive, right? Like getting shot in the gut. Like that's a very risky place to get shot, right? Like you can hit a vital organ, be done.
This isn't movies where getting shot in the gut is basically you're just gonna be fine.
No, exactly. So like he's in the hospital, and like as he's regained it, the fucking local news comes in because they're
Where's
like,
this at?
This is in Virginia, so Dulles, Virginia. I'd say like that's where it is.
What city is it close? Is it for like Ratchet?
Yeah,
like,
I mean it's Virginia. I'm not expecting it to be. But so he gets shot, and like the local news comes in and they ask him, it's like, so is this going to deter you from your YouTube channel? It's like, hell nah, I'm gonna go right back to pranking. His dad comes in. His dad is like, you know, people get offended too easily these days, and that's what I'm like, dude.
Offended him? Oh
yes,
God.
That's how f***ed up it is.
This generation it's ruined. Andrew Tate, we need you. Save us.
Dude, he had like he has like 40,000 subscribers, which is like, you know, he's trying to get his channel off the ground and everything. You get it. I get it. I understand. This is not a new style of prank video, though. I've seen so many people f***ing with minimum wage employees
but don't
for the last like
prank people that have guns, you idiot.
Well, like, okay, in public.
Yeah, like that's the thing is too, is like some of these people come from places where if you're walking down the street and somebody walks up on you and calls you a sex offender, they might be about ready to jump you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, could you imagine, like, if this happened in, like, the fucking state of Texas, like, if you're down in, like, Dallas or some shit and you do this, like, if you go up to somebody's face.
If somebody who walks up on me and starts calling me a sex offender, I'm going to feel threatened. Like, I need to protect myself.
You're like, I'm not gonna lie, like, if you
it's
did
not
this
like
shit
you're going
to me,
up to someone and saying that, oh, you're ugly, you're ugly. Like, this is really dangerous for your life.
Yeah, but stuff like this could be somebody who's coming to, like, with violent intentions.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you have no idea who the you're pranking, right? Like, imagine if he was pranking, like, some fucking actual gangbanger, you know what I mean? Like, out on his day or some shit, and you go up to him and you start barking in his ear. Bro, this dude's already on edge every day. You think he's not gonna whip out the gun and put you down? Probably.
Yeah, that to his safety, like,
and then you're going up to some random people, and it's like, if you, like, again, like this, I said this like 2-3 podcasts ago. I'm like, listen, if I was in, like, sometimes somebody pisses me off in traffic in the state of Texas, okay, I don't pull them over and get into a fight with them because I remember, oh shit, it's the state of Texas. Everyone here's strapped and ready to go. Grandma's coming home from CrossFit and he's ready to put me in the ground. I get it. I understand.
Texas, they know the difference between a clip and a mag.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, if I'm in Toronto, right? Like, I'm up here in, like, liberal ass Canada, bro. I'm fucking ready to get into a fight with anybody. What's the worst that's gonna happen? A fist being thrown
He's
around?
gonna yell at you. Maybe
yeah, exactly.
Say a bad
it's like,
word.
Yeah, it's exactly. We're gonna have like a fucking cordial disagreement. If I'm down in fucking Virginia, and like, again, I mentioned the East Coast. You know what the hood is like on the East Coast. If you're in a shitty part of town, like, you do not fuck with anybody in the shitty part of town. There was a Sam Hyde video I was watching too, where he's like, "Why I live in the hood?" Because he lives in like Providence, and I'm like, you don't fuck with anybody in Providence. They live differently up there. It's not like you're in LA or something, or like, you know, fucking Ritzy City. Anyways, this guy fucks with the wrong dude and he gets shot. Obviously, he gets killed. But you know the fucked up thing about it? Imagine being so
Gets
unlikable.
killed?
No. This is even wilder. So he gets shot, right? Tanner gets shot. Now imagine being so fucking unlikable by the entire community that even after getting shot in the gut, your entire YouTube comment section is still roasting you for surviving the gunshot.
Oh my god. People are monsters.
Bro, okay. The news came out. I go to his YouTube channel, bro. Just a whole slew of commenters. It's like, man, we're gonna pay for this dude's lawyer fees so he can like take you on, bro. It's a shame you survived. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. The fucking internet mob hates your like. That's how unlikable the dude was. Oh, they are vicious. But like, you watch the dude's content, and it's like all it is just being obnoxious and annoying. Like, there was this one dude working at like a fucking mattress store, talking to some girl, right? Like some fucking girl, like just buying whatever off of him, and he's like, "Are you trying to get her digits, dude?" I'm like, "Oh, dude, ah!" I'm like, "Stop it, you're hurting me." Like, I show this thing to my brother, and he's just like, "There's no punchline to any of this." He's just annoying.
The punchline is he's brave and annoying. It's like, it's funny when you see like people today, like clips of people floating around. It's one of two types. It's either that type, or let me show you this clip. I put it in our Discord. It's the Andrew Tate mind.
This clip hurt me.
Oh, you saw this one?
Yeah, I shared it. I feel kind of bad. We're gonna watch this clip together. This is
the Andrew Tate
a little bit
influence.
Painful. This one's wild. Like, I don't believe this clip. I really don't believe this one. I don't think this is real.
I've had enough of this.
I don't believe this.
This punishment stuff is going to stop.
You're not going to tell me what I'm going to do and not do?
I am now the alpha.
I'm not alpha. I am the teacher.
You see, like, I don't believe this. That's why I don't believe that clip. Like, that shit is just insanely wild with the internet. I cannot believe those. I have to imagine it's like, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's funny as.
It is funny, and like the scary thing is, I could see it. Like, you hear people in regular conversation like using the term, "Oh, I'm an alpha," right? Like, you hear that. It's like, oh, dude, what? No, if you have to tell me, then you're obviously not.
Tyler, how much do you know about the alpha community? You've been following that shit?
I mean, I'm like, tell me if I know. Like, I don't know.
Well, you know the Andrew Tate Sneeko shit. You know that whole like community of guys, the red pill dudes.
I know a general idea, but I don't know who watches it. Like, I don't describe the person.
Somebody that has no father figure in their life.
It's the lonely teen males.
Yeah, like the younger guys. Like, I think the younger dudes who watch those guys that are selling courses on like how to get rich quick and like how to get any woman you want, like those type of dudes. You've seen the red pill shit, right? Like you've kind of known about it.
I know of Andrew Tate.
Yeah. What do you think about the guys who watch that? What do you think about the whole community? I tend to have like a pretty sympathetic view. I'm like, every time you demonize dudes like that, I'm like, shouldn't you have like the alternative ready to go for them, right? Like, shouldn't you be there to listen to dudes like that who are falling into those weird traps and shit?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like in general, I feel like our generation is really looking for role models because I feel like so many people from our generation, like I'm 33, and so I was born in 90. So, like, really, like, the 60s and 70s was when parents really started, like, fucking up heavy. And so, like, by the 90s, there was already, like, a whole generation of, like, drug and alcohol abuse. You know what I mean? That, like, really started heavy in, like, the 60s and 70s, like, the 60s, you know?
Yeah, the
so,
Woodstock era, you know, when they're on pot all the time.
So many kids in the 90s, like, grew up when either with like no father or a broken home, that I feel like everyone's looking for a role model, but there's really nothing at the end of the day that can fix a broken home.
Yeah, that's actually a really like deep way to put it. Jesus Christ, like this is the thing. Like when I watched you, I'm like I thought when you were putting on an act initially, I'm like, no, you're like a pretty like homey like traditional like dude, like straight up like, you know, love Jesus and all those kind of like all that stuff, which I appreciate. I really like to fucking see that shit too. Like as much as I don't put it out there, I'm a pretty much a traditional guy myself too, which I feel like is kind of a dying thing as well. Like you kind of get demonized for having like beliefs and shit like that nowadays, or like at least being open about it. So I'm glad to kind of see that shit. I'm not like dogging or anything for it, which is like, it's a good way that you put it. I think a lot of the people that fall into some of these traps,
like, including myself, you know what I mean? Yeah, like I feel like a lot of times, like, you know, I still even feel like at 33, like I'm looking for like I almost feel like I'm looking for someone like still at 33 to show me how to be a man.
Bro, really?
Yeah, I really feel that way. Yeah,
I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like you're a pretty good male role model, like right now. Like I feel like you could easily be a replacement. You're a guy that's like fit. You're a guy that's like married and has kids and like normal, level-headed, rational dude. Like you're an overly humble guy. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, I really feel that way. I'm not even trying to be humble. So like I feel like a lot of kids from my generation feel that same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's the?
If
what's
I ever
fix?
start a boxing match, I would never kick you out.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. See, it's like the more and more I talk to you, the more and more I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, like, I wish I like it. This is why like the internet sided with like Tyler more so than like the other side, and a lot of it was
a human. You're a human being that worked so hard to get to this point, and it was just taken away from you by some group of people that didn't even have the decency to say it themselves. Like it was just through like the corporate account, you know?
I think it was so fucking wild was the corporate response that night too. Like both the apologies from the Creator Clash. It's like the fucking long novel that they wrote, like the Chat GPT wrote, because I still don't believe a fucking human being wrote. What's so wild is like, so you broke a violation and nobody was even told what violation it was, right? Like, and that's why I said, I'm like, unless there's something that you haven't told anybody and you did something really fucking behind the scenes. Yeah. I have no idea, like, why, like, what could have actually, like, spawned it. Because usually when I look at a boxing event, usually when I look at combat sports, there's always a degree of shit-talking 3 weeks before
This wasn't
fight,
even
right?
shit-talking. If I lose, I'll subscribe to your OnlyFans. Like, come on. It's like, how insecure are you that you're going to kick someone out for saying something like that?
Well, that's super weird to me, because I'm like, nobody was, like, dogging on the idea that somebody was doing OnlyFans. Like, I've been pretty, like consistent on the fact that if somebody wants to do OnlyFans, that's your choice to fucking do it. And I thought they were pretty comfortable with it, especially when Ian came out with that video a while ago where it's like, I don't care if anybody like subs to
I don't care if I'm a simp. In fact, I want you to jack off to my girlfriend.
Yeah, like I'm like at that moment I'm like, isn't that just like kind of opening it? And now we feel like bad enough that you're getting kicked out. And the thing is, it's like you got kicked out because I remember Harley was like, you don't shit talk the event organizers, but I'm like, even the organizer is like a public figure in all of this too. So it's just, it could have. It was one of those things where like it could have easily been flipped around. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could have shit on her. Like, you could have made that joke and she'd be like, whatever. I'm gonna make like a half off on my OnlyFans, and it's like now Creator Clash theme shit, and she could have like. And you know what I mean? Like, flip the script. She could have Sam Hyded your ass.
Other people have said that too. Other people have said, dude, she could have played into it and just been like,
she could have Sam Hyded you. She could have flipped.
She could have been like, you're already subscribed. She could have said like anything. You know,
she could have revealed a fake screenshot that had FroggyFresh was already auto billed, subbed, and tipping. Like, it's like, what the? It could have been a cute response. They could have played into it, and again, it was fine.
Like I don't think that was it. I really don't. I think it was just that you were chilling with Sam Hyde. That's really, I think all there is to it.
I think they gotta put it in the contracts, bro. Like, if you don't want to work with Sam, remove him.
Put it in the contracts. Sam Hyde is the boogeyman. You cannot collab with him. But
actually,
like,
there's a point I want to make too. If Sam Hyde has a problem, Nux, why was it okay working when Harley worked with him last year? Because Harley worked with him too, right?
Damn. Didn't Sam Hyde try to like infiltrate the event last time and? People were upset.
I think he bought tickets.
He was coming to watch Sam fight, basically. They were coming to watch Harley fight, and then they weren't gonna let him in.
He bought like $20K worth of tickets last I checked. So,
oh my god,
they kept the money, which I mean, nobody's gonna refund the charity, I guess. But like, and Sam was just disbarred from the event, which is like, it's kind of weird because like you're okay with one of your key fighters training with him for a bit, and then like at the end you don't want to. And why couldn't you attend the event? It was like because he was a brand risk. Even though the event was run by or it was sponsored by like Fansly, so I'm like, wait a minute, this like OnlyFans knockoff is sponsoring an event, and they're worried about the brand risk. Like, what the? Wait a minute, none of it made sense. Clearly, they have an issue with Sam.
It's I think it's just a very personal thing, and I think since Sam wasn't allowed into the event last time, I think they might have been afraid maybe that Sam was going to try to pull something for this event. That he
Sam's not like Sam don't even care. Sam would not have even he just don't care. He would have never tried to show up.
I don't think he would. I'm just saying. I'm trying to like understand where they're coming from. Like I don't think it was the OnlyFans joke. I really just think it's a personal thing that they just don't like Sam.
I really do think next is a lot of the Sam Hyde documentary that was filmed, because I like after the whole like Twitter space, I watched the Sam Hyde version of it, right? Like I actually sat down and watched that and Ian's perspective, and like it was there's part of me that agrees with your take, because I'm sure that Ian went out there to film a genuine documentary.
Yeah, my take. Sam. We said it before the podcast started. I don't think it was actually
on the air. Like, well, you can if you want to explain your side of it, like.
Basically,
because I do kind of agree.
Sam Hyde he's an interesting character. He's a controversial figure. Apparently, he wasn't too controversial for iDubbbz to actually interview, right? So iDubbbz did try to interview him years back, and Sam Hyde flipped the script on him. He basically completely tricked him, and like he hired a fake girlfriend to like as a meth addict or something, and like he staged all this stuff to basically flip the script on Ian, who went to interview him. Now, and it was a great troll. It was really funny. That said, from Ian's perspective, I could understand very well, and I don't think this is an opinion that's very popular on the internet, to be honest. I see everyone taking Sam Hyde's side, that like he pranked him, good on him. But Ian spent money, he spent time, he wanted to film a genuine documentary, because that's the direction he was trying to take his channel, with like the airsoft fatty thing and whatever. Yeah. He wanted to film this legitimate documentary, and all that time, all that money was completely wasted because he didn't get one shred of actual credible information. Right. Because it was all a hoax. So from his perspective, I could really see why he's upset that he was burnt.
Yeah.
But don't you feel like if he had just released it and been like, look, here's Sam Hyde putting on a performance. You're never going to get to know Sam Hyde. And this is why he's one of the most mysterious characters. Because if he would have just rolled out the documentary and said, here's Sam Hyde trolling me here, here's Sam Hyde trolling me here, here's me not getting to know Sam Hyde, but then Sam Hyde sit down for an interview at the end, and he would have answered any of Ian's questions. If Ian had just posted and been like, Sam is a confusing character, and you're never going to know Sam.
Or he's always on edge, you know?
So honestly, I totally agree with you. You don't. Yeah. I'm not saying Ian did everything right. I think Ian made a lot of mistakes. Finally, I think firing you was a massive mistake. Right? Yeah. I'm not saying that he has no fault. I'm just saying from his perspective, I can understand why he's frustrated with Sam Hyde, and why he doesn't want to associate with him, and yet like the dude still keeps showing up.
I feel like there just needs to be like a straight up contractual statement for any future fights that like if you train with this guy, it's all over. Like this is just like a fucking point of no return. Like you can't go to him because it's like it is super confusing because like there's been so like the theory was it's like they fired you because you work with Sam, and I'm like that might be true and all, but I'm like Harley trained with the guy too, so it's like
but they wouldn't. But what happened is like it got worse because Harley trained with him, but then because of the documentary stuff and stuff like that, they wouldn't let Sam in the building. So they like cut. They basically was like, look, Sam's done now. He can't come to the thing. So after that, Sam kind of I think became off limits for them. After that, after Harley had already gone out there.
Okay. Oh, so like after the whole like he spent 20,000 gets removed.
Trained for him, then he came, and that's when they were like, "No, you're not coming to the event," and that was when things really escalated. I think.
I just it's such a wild thing, and it's like I don't know. I feel like the communication could be a million times better, but I mean, it is what it is. It's done what it's done. It's the thing.
To be honest with you, even Sam's even said too. Like Sam said, like if they reached out and like wanted to squash it, like he doesn't like he's not bothered by it. Like he would squash it. He said that. Like if Ian just reached out to him and was like, "Hey, dude, like this went off the rails. I don't like it. Like I'm not trying to have problems with you anymore. Can you can we solve it?" He said he would, and I believe him.
Well, then do you think the other side is just like purposefully holding a grudge?
Maybe maybe that's just not something they want.
Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, it's like, and I've had great respect for iDubbbz. I think he definitely paved the way for a lot of content that's still really popular in today's day and age on the internet. I just think it's kind of weird to see this current modern day like when I'm seeing like there's this one clip that I saw where he's like, we're not going to call Alex Wasabi Alex Pusabi or whatever because it would be offensive. And I'm like, iDubbbz of like 2016, that would have been like the tamest joke that you would have fucking made. You know what I mean? Like calling somebody a pussy after everything else, like, and I'm not one of those like content cop viewers. I didn't really give a shit whenever he did like the content cop stuff, but I was always like a fucking fan of the Kickstarter crap shit, like when he would like dig up somebody's dark shit. Kickstarter.
It's so funny. I loved the
crap
content cops back in the day. Like I remember when he dropped his which one? The Jake Paul one, which was really the
Rice Gum.
The Rice Gum one.
Paul, yeah.
Like I was just glued to that drama, right? With Rice Gum's response and his response and like all that. Like that was hilarious. But that was before like really my content creating years. So
what's up? But you mentioned Rice Gum because I see people show support for Rice Gum over Ian. Surprisingly in today's day and age.
Yeah, but that's
I could never do that.
Every day, it's always about like sides, right? It's like you see, Ian does something stupid. It's like, wow, Leafy was always amazing, wasn't he? It's like it ping pongs back to these extremes.
Yeah, like the internet, you're right. You can't really have a solid opinion that's like nuanced anymore. You have to explicitly be like it's like Sam Hyde, right? Like I talked to Sam Hyde once, and it's like, I'm gonna tell you right now, like the DMs were filled with a few people willing to tell me how evil of a character he was. Like, I had this one like DM kick in where he like donated $5,000 to like a fucking Nazi organization or some shit like that, and I was like, all right, like everyone had the fucking history books pulled out for the guy, right? And they're like, this is the guy's whole history, blah blah blah, and conversely, on the other side, it's like, don't believe anything that you see. Here's the official website that I made that counteracts every claim. And I'm like, all right, listen, guys. I talked to the guy like once. All right, I'm not joining the fucking him or love him side. All right, he's just another person on the internet. Simple as that. Okay, like Jesus, it's insane the kind of shit you have to deal with on the internet when it comes to like
if you associate with one person, you automatically everyone assumes that you are now part of their
100%.
You follow them and kneel. Like
it's like Dude, the KSI shit. Like if you
we
support
still
KSI,
get lots of hate. All of us, like on our podcast, that we had Hassan, right? Like a year ago, right? We had Hassan, and a lot of people are like, "But you had Hassan. How could you say this when Hassan is your friend on your podcast? When you said that you're a capitalist?" It's like, wait, I can be a capitalist and talk to Hassan.
I'm always sitting there. I'm like, I will talk to pretty much anybody on the internet in a cordial, nice way. Okay,
Yeah, dude, we had the
Like-
Game Awards, kid. Okay,
Yeah.
at this point, it only goes up from here.
Like, even people want to hear what even people wanted to hear what Ted Bundy had to say like before he was killed.
yeah,
Like people want to hear people need to hear what everyone has to say.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I'm down to sit and talk with anybody and like fucking. But like, it's so wild. Like, as soon as you have a conversation with somebody, it's like, oh, so you endorse everything that they've said? I'm like, no, not in a million years. I could have a conversation with fucking Rice Gum, and we probably not agree on a million things. But
You could have had a conversation with like Jeffrey Epstein, but it doesn't mean you guys were like chilling poolside.
no, that I'm so glad you mentioned the Jeffrey shit too. So I've been like covering the Elon Musk stuff for a while, and it's like every time, bro. Like, you know how fucked up it is with all this AI shit and like crap that people are just faking screenshots on people they don't like anymore. I was on Twitter the other day and like fucking. So there's this guy named Matt Walsh. I'm not here to defend him or anything. I'm only mentioning it because like I saw this on my fucking Twitter timeline, right? Like he said some blatant, like it was a tweet of him like allegedly saying some of the most pedophilic shit you could imagine, and I'm like, what the f-? And then thank God they have those context blurbs on Twitter now, where it's like, this tweet has been doctored. So I'm like looking into it and I'm like, dude, this guy got like 100,000 likes calling this dude like a diddler. And I'm like, I don't like the guy or care that much. I don't really like follow him all that often. I'm like, I don't even know who the guy is, but I'm like, damn, dude, like, and you're all out there on the internet talking all that good shit, and it's like the most illegal like shit imaginable. Like, dude, if the fucking defamation laws were actually enforced, bro, there'd be so many motherfuckers on the internet getting fucking thrown out or like bankrupted with any fucking lawsuit imaginable. I'm like, dude, the internet is a fucking place for that kind of shit, dude.
Yeah, it really is.
It is. I mean, you can't make a joke like 10 years ago and get away with it. Like every time I'm like the like when I talked to you, Tyler, you know, the first thing people sent me was the one music video of you. It's like, and I'm not even gonna name the name, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Like trying to keep a player down, I guess you could say. It's the nicest way to put it. I'm like, dude, and then I look at it, I'm like, listen, bro, it's not that deep. Like, maybe I'm just. I think we're the last generation of people to have normal like human interaction before the whole world switches to the internet, right? Like nowadays, if you look at children, I don't even think kids talk to each other in like school. I think they just text each other. I think they just like DM one another. I don't think there's an actual like conversation. I don't think there's actual.
Damn, you're making me so sad.
But that's so fucking true. Like when we were kids and shit, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have the fucking internet. I mean, we had the internet later. But when we were kids, like I'll tell you, all the way up until the fucking 7th grade, bro, the only form of DMing we could do was MSN Messenger. All right, like motherfuckers remember MSN Messenger, right?
Yeah.
Like back in the day, you could send people like little blurbs. Nowadays, kids have like Discord and all that shit. I didn't have that when I was a kid, dude. We didn't have group messages. You messaged one dude at a time, all right, and then you went through a whole complicated process of group It was a wild world. Websites were so infantile. There wasn't like TikTok or YouTube or really anything where like you could just upload whatever you wanted and call it a day. Back in our day, there was like we write blogs like.
See, but I think even more than like the idea of contacting your friends, it's like the amount of people that influence you now is so different than like just your friends and family in school, right?
Well, you're connected to everyone in the world now, right? Like when we were kids, it's like I didn't know shit about like in Montreal, and you didn't know shit about Toronto. Nowadays, if you're on the internet, you'd know shit about everyone. You know shit about everyone.
I have a friend in India and a friend in Australia, and friends all over the world now.
Like, well, back in the day, if you just look at just this podcast in general, that's why I like this whole thing. It's like Tyler, you're sitting all the way out in like a different state. I'm sitting somewhere else. But we're all having a conversation. So it's like that wouldn't really be a thing,
dude. And also, we're like, we're different ethnicities, different backgrounds. We could just sit here and we
different
have a
life stories, everything. But like nowadays, it's like fucking bro. There's no like local bubble to keep you in, and there's no socialization you build in. Now it's purely internet shit. Now it's like you're and like you know what's fucking scary to me. Like I really do believe this shit, but I think in like 10 years, like the most kids are going to be going to the movie theater in the fucking like metaverse or some shit, or like the movie theater is going to be at home. Like
for sure.
So. When we're like, I haven't been to the movies since pre-COVID, Pre-COVID, I used to go to the movies with friends all the time. Now I don't, just because like, and we all moved away and we're also used to being remote and shit. And I'm just like, when we were younger, like, bro, you go to the movies and watch something, right? Like, you get a ticket and all that. Nowadays, it's like people have like movie nights on Discord. I'm like, dude, that's kind of like, it's convenient, but it's also sad as shit, dude. Like, you're sitting on the internet watching a movie with the boys. Like, there's no
it's
like,
in a way sad, but like, it's better than watching a movie yourself, right?
Yeah, it's better. Exactly, it's better than doing something by yourself. But I mean, like, I don't know. Once the genie is out of the bottle, there's no way you're putting it back in. So it's like you're kind of, this is the world we live in, and you better fucking deal with it, I guess.
Dude,
but
it's a wild world. We'll see.
But that's why, that's why I love events like Creator Clash, because it brings people together for at least a weekend to see each other get the shit kicked out of them. And that's why I hate it when these events have controversy. Because, like, I would not be batting for you, Tyler, if you were just like being a controversial asshole, like, after getting kicked out. But it's like, optically, it's like you literally made like one dumb joke. All right. And it is just a dumb joke. It's not even like a serious up joke. You get kicked out, and it's like the whole internet has to pretty much back you because you're going up against a fucking AI.
It was reassuring to see the support you got, though. It shows that, you know, there is still some humanity left in humanity.
For sure. Yeah.
But I mean, like, I really do hope that you got a fight coming up somewhere. I really do. It feels shitty that you train for 9 months and it's like you have nothing to fucking, like, you don't have a ring to go in and beat the shit out of somebody. I know you're like, man.
But even if I would have beat Chris Reagan, I was like, I don't even have no problems with him. So it's like I beat him up. At the end of the day, I'm thinking, I don't even want to hurt Chris.
Okay, fine. Who do you want to hurt, though? I feel like that would be a great question to get out of.
Anissa versus FroggyFresh happening when? Yeah. No, I'm joking. Yeah, that's not.
Who do you want to? Do you want to hurt iDubbbz or something? Do you want to go at?
No,
you want to fight him?
I don't want to hurt nobody.
There's got to be one fucking douchebag on the internet, somebody unlikable that you definitely want to get into a ring with. I could list 10 right now. Number one being XQC, but go on.
No, I mean, because eventually, like, the thing is, like, that's the way it is with fighting. Is eventually, like, if you come for someone eventually always gonna come for you.
I don't know.
I guess.
For me right now, I want to see someone box Sneeko and beat the crap out of him. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he got off way too easy.
You should fight Sneeko. You should challenge
I can't fight
Sneeko to a fight.
Me, my live 2D VTuber boy is gonna fight Sneeko. He's gonna say.
I mean, like, I'm just saying, Tyler should be the one to fight Sneeko. Like, Tyler,
dude,
you can't let that. You can't,
dude.
How big is Sneeko? No, hold on. Is it Sneeko like big, bro?
He's like
Sneeko's big.
He's like 6'1". What is he? 6'2"?
He's my height.
Is he? I don't know.
Oh shit. Maybe I should hit the gym. Maybe I should fucking take him on.
I can't take him. I can't.
I'm gonna be honest. Sneeko looks like he can fight. I don't know if he can or not. I don't know.
Dude,
I'm sure he can fight a lot better than he can do donuts in a car. But yeah,
he looks athletic.
Dude, it's just wild to me. Every time he like makes a line, he's like, "The people trying to cancel me never watched my podcast where I talked about how 9/11 was an inside job." And it's like, how does that disprove anything anyone says?
if he's 6'1", Knox, if he's 6'2".
With Charlie though, don't they? Like, people really fuck with Charlie, so like they're not fucking. They don't take that Sneeko bullshit.
Well, it's funny if he wants.
All right, Charlie let Sneeko off so easy by talking to him and making him look rational. Okay, Charlie really let him off easy, and I respect him.
Like, what did he tell him? What did he tell Sneeko?
Well, he called Sneeko, you know. So Sneeko defended the movie Cuties, which basically was child porn. Also, Sneeko
softcore,
softcore child porn.
Yeah.
Is he controversial, or is that his real beliefs?
I mean, he says it like it's his real beliefs. Who knows what his real beliefs are? He ping-pongs back and forth. Did you see the clip of him from a year ago reacting to Andrew Tate, okay? And saying how cringe Andrew Tate is? Did you see that clip?
I've never seen that. I've never seen that.
I saw it. I flipped out. Like, watching this guy ping-pong back and forth.
I'm sure he just
really
says shit to be controversial. Like, and that's kind of the whole shtick. That's how he gets, like, in there. My thing is, like, if he's 6'1", 6'2", Nux, I mean, I kind of want to hit the gym and go at it. Like, that'd be a fun fucking fight, actually. Jesus Christ, I would choose to take on Sneeko, fucking, because he's trying to take on Charlie, and Charlie's like a foot smaller than him.
Dude, Charlie's
so
5'6". Of course, he wants to fight Charlie.
I still bet on Charlie though. I still feel like he could scrap. Sam was like, if he trains Charlie alone, he could fucking wipe the floor with Sneeko. So I don't know. But Sneeko's a wild guy. Like, you should definitely.
Charlie's too pretty to be fighting. Charlie's too pretty to be fighting. We don't want his face to get messed up.
Charlie's face. He's a beautiful man.
Charlie's too handsome to be fighting.
No,
Some people.
you think I feel the same could be fucking said for you too. Like you look like a pretty good dude to fucking be going into a ring and turning all bloody and shit.
Yeah, I shouldn't be fighting either. I've already got bloody noses and shit from training.
Yeah, but like I mean, you got to do at least one sanctioned fight though.
You have to.
Like, at least you got you got the misfit stuff. Like I hope that all comes into fruition. I know that Chris was thrown like
it's so hard too, dude. It's so time consuming.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that's like you were spending what 9 months, and like I assume this is a full-time job then too, right? Like you're waking up every morning to train and like.
Yeah, you gotta eat, nap, like
Yeah, like you gotta eat and like fucking. I even assume like the 14K you got to work out is still not covering all the workout expenses at all.
I probably spent like 4 out of pocket on top of that for 6 months or so. Yeah.
6 months of that, but then like you did like a whole body transformation out of it. Like what is like the whole like what really like what is the whole like day like when you get up in the morning? Like is it like fucking Rocky or some shit? Like you're up there like running the fucking steps and shit, doing the punching bag for like hours a day, coming home.
Yeah, it was like a lot. I wake up and run, and then I maybe go to practice in the early afternoon, and then some days we're still sparring in the evening. And some days I'll go to sparring, and I'll be so tired that like I could barely hold my arms up. So then you're getting like blasted in the fucking face.
Jesus. And it's like on top of that, you're still trying to like keep your YouTube career like functioning and everything, and like do your content.
Which no, I haven't. Like I haven't hardly posted a song in like 6 months.
Which is like that. Like I think that's the
sad.
shit that really pisses me off too, because it's like so you get booted out of something, and it's like so all the time that you could have been spending.
Some songs, but it's still not a lot of time. Like there's just not a lot of time.
But it's like you lose that. It was like well now you're not going to do the fight. Now you're like you got to take a hit on your YouTube channel because you do fuck yourself over if you're not like being consistent.
Well, because of people like you and Keem, I've actually I've actually still been able to get a stage anyways.
Well, I mean that's the like one saving grace situation too. It's like at the end of the day, it's like I've always said this, like we're a community of people, and it's like if we don't come together to like prop ourselves up or each other up, then there ain't going to be anybody else out there. Like the problem with some of these like influencer types that move out to like California and all that shit, and again I'm not trying to generalize here, they try to appeal to a lot of these Hollywood types that will never ever accept them into their like circle. You know what I mean? Like if you move out to, and this is why I don't take the Hollywood or any of these TV movie types seriously. They will always shit on like influencers. They'll always shit on YouTubers, TikTokers.
Have you ever been out to LA? Have you ever been out to LA?
I've been out. Like my family now lives there because that's where my like wife's family is. But I've been out there. I've never would plan to live out there just because like it's like I'm already spending an arm and a leg to live up in Toronto. I'm not gonna double the cost to live out in like the state of Cali. It's just not really for me. But the thing is, it's like even in our industry, when you're trying to like appeal to these Hollywood types, these TV exec types, these people who are part of like this old legacy dying media, right? It's super cringy to me because it's like you could just focus on the online community now and flourish that, and these people are going to wither away and die at some point anyways, right? Like Nux, you brought this point up the other podcast, and we kind of countered you on it, where it was like you mentioned QT Cinderella's like award show.
Yeah.
If you think about it, right, like the Oscars, it's a dying thing. They get less and less viewership every year.
It is.
But
that award show had like 2/3 the viewers of the Oscars.
Yeah,
that's insane.
If we as a community started focusing on that instead of like this infighting and like kicking people out because we're afraid that they're brand risks, I think that would be the ideal world to live in, right?
Become
like nowadays,
the brand.
Exactly. Like we're out here. I think one of the coolest things that I've ever seen too is like when creators make their own brands of clothing and like drinks and everything, and then they like sponsor each other out. Completely fucking cutting out the outside party in, right? Like at the end of the day, these guys have reacted like YouTube reacted during the PewDiePie incident, during like any incident when like people shit on like to explain what happened, like during the PewDiePie like bridge incident when he said the N-word live, right? Like a lot of those mainstream sites came out and shit on YouTube, and they got the brands pulled back. But obviously the brands come back to YouTube because you got to fucking advertise at some point, right? I think for a lot of content creators, it's like if we're so afraid of like these legacy old guard platforms, it's like at some point you got to start cutting them off, and you got to start being there for the people there, because it's like if you're not keeping your community alive and your community in if you're not there for your community, what are you there for, right? And
Yeah.
I think that was great for me to see. Like, it wasn't just me that was there for Tyler. It was like Keem. It was, you know, Sam. It was like, you know, in that.
What's up, 100K? Like, yeah.
Yeah, in the space, it was Gideon, and you also had other people like Wubby was watching that space too. You also had Philip DeFranco who covered it as well too, and Philly D is like pretty much as mainstream as we're getting, and you know, it's like it was heartwarming to fucking see that come together. You know, like that's one of the things. And even at the end of it, no matter how much drama comes out of it, like I still do want the best for every event, and I know that, and the reason why like I was glad to see like your responses, Tyler, to it was like super cordial and nice. Like even last night or 2 nights ago, I saw you respond to like Harley.
Harley's the song. I was fucking around with Harley in a stream.
And you guys were super cordial again, so I assume like the fucking hatchet is normal.
Yeah, that don't get no views or nothing. We're just doing that fucking around with each other.
Yeah, but you guys, I assume you guys are cool now, right? Based on what I've seen.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow with Harley.
Yeah, it's like, and that's the weird, that's the interesting about this drama too, because normally like when it comes to like drama on the internet, people get so fucking hostile and like they start building the sides. But here it's like you've got one side that's so corporate kicking you out, and the other side it's like, bro, I really didn't do anything wrong, but hope you do good, King. I guess it's like literally, it's like you can't hate the guy. Like it's hard to hate. It's hard to find anything to hate about what you're doing in the situation. And it's like maybe you're just a fucking mastermind of the optics game. But I'm gonna have to go with the fact that you're just a.
I don't want beef with nobody. I don't want like stress or static. Like
exactly.
Just stressful.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to live. It's like less stress, the better in life. But
yeah,
shit, man. I mean, at the end of the day, before we end it, I do wish the best for your fighting career. I do definitely want to see you in the ring at some point. Like, I can't be seeing a photo of you all natty like that on Twitter and not see you break somebody's jaw out. Like, come on now.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
like there's dudes out there that are like fucking half as jacked and like they're out there trying to like put up a fight. Come on now. You should take on the Paul brothers. You should actually fucking. You should throw out something to like the old Jake Paul. Maybe not Logan. Logan's kind of fucked up. Logan's got that Ohio cracknet energy. But fucking maybe Jake.
Those kids are tough. Yeah.
I mean, Jake is tough. What was it? You were telling me something about like fucking what was it like Paul? Like their dad? What was it like Greg or something?
They're all tough. Like them are tough kids. Man. Yeah.
What was his dad like? Wasn't his dad about to like fight Ian or something?
His dad was like one of them guys. Oh yeah, dude. Greg Paul is not somebody that you want to fight.
Greg Paul does like roofing shit out. No, Nux. It's not even funny. Like Greg is like the chief roofing agent of like Ohio. Have you ever seen roofing? Bro, okay. No, Greg is like fucking day labor badass, like fucking, you know, Ohio. He's a fucking Ohio boy, like Ohio day laborer boy. You do not fuck with Greg Paul.
You know, he's worked so hard, like he wakes up with his hands like this. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, he wakes up with his hands like this from his hard work. Yeah,
he doesn't fuck around. Like that's the kind of guy you don't want to be like. You don't want to be like pissing on or taking. It's
No.
I would like to see.
He strikes me as the type of guy that would kiss his son's girlfriend.
Bro, but that's the thing. He's so fucking badass that he could get away with that. Who's gonna say anything?
Away with that's horrible. Stop.
Yeah,
dude,
no.
Wait. Hold on. Before I fuck myself in the ass here, Nux. Fill me in on this whole story. Was it like his girlfriend over the age of 18?
Oh, I don't know, honestly.
Okay, like I was like, wait a minute.
He did like a collab with where he would blindfold a girl, and then she would have to guess who she's kissing, him or Logan or something. And the dad shows up out of nowhere and kisses her while she's blindfolded. Like,
bro,
real
I'm gonna have to look into Greg Paul, man. Holy shit!
He was trying to get a kiss from one of them young, cute Paul boys, like we all are. Not Greg, and that wasn't what she was looking for.
Yeah, damn.
Well, goddamn. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today we had FroggyFresh on the show. Froggy, do you have any socials you wanna fill us in on? Some Twitch streaming, OnlyFans.
You can check out my YouTube FroggyFresh Rap or my Instagram. I am FroggyFresh.
And then if you want to check out Nux Talking, you absolutely can, and obviously my channel as well. Nux, you wanna leave us with anything?
It was really nice to meet you, Mr. Froggy.
Yeah, you too, brother.
Wishing you the best in all your endeavors in the future. May you kick many asses.
Even
All right,
if you,
well,
you are the most like dude, this guy, you're so fucking Canadian. It's like I don't want to fight or do anything hard. It's like, dude, you are.
well,
you
I
are
don't want to
so
do anything
Canadian,
hard. I want to
bro.
watch other people beat each other up. Okay, I don't want to do anything. Okay, although Muda, you should definitely box Nico because I want to see someone beat him up.
Dude, I kind of want to hit up Sam. Sam is so down to train anybody. I
Dude.
think I have no obligations to any creator clash. I think I might go down to Providence actually. Sam follows, so I might hit him up actually. I might go through. I might disappear for 8 months and come back getting roided. So,
Although
that'd
I
be
did
fun.
see you flexing on someone on Twitter saying that, you know, men don't have breasts, and then you gave them a really hot selfie.
Dude, I have to. Like, bro, sometimes you find shit on Twitter, and I feel like the best ratio is that.
Dude, it's like, who needs these arguments? No. This is the correct response. I respect
Yeah,
it.
exactly. I'm not there to write on text. Images work better. Visual
Well,
learning.
technically, did you know that men can actually get breast cancer as well as women? Right, okay,
I
dude,
was like,
shut
dude,
up.
I read that. I'm like, dude, my dad is gonna have a fucking like fit if he sees this fucking medical misinformation. But anyways, if you all like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. We are out.